Racist cop drown a black man, unaware that he's a Navy SEAL. Before we dive into today's story, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. It was a quiet Sunday morning in Willow Ridge, a sleepy riverside town nestled between forested hills and winding dirt roads. The sunlight shimmered softly over the gently rippling water, painting golden reflections across the bank where children laughed, fishermen cast their lines, and church bells tolled from a distance. Everything about that morning suggested a slow, unhurried rhythm that made people forget there was a world beyond their town. But that illusion was shattered before noon. Noah Carter sat alone on a weathered bench near the riverbank, his posture relaxed, his eyes trained on the water. He wore a faded gray hoodie, the cuffs worn thin, and his boots caked in dried mud spoke of a man accustomed to hard work. To anyone watching, Noah looked like someone seeking solitude, perhaps catching his breath from a heavy week or recalling memories best left on the water. But to officers Trent Maddox and Caleb Drury, Noah was something else entirely, a problem. Their cruiser slowed when they spotted him. Officer Maddox, older and hardened by years of unchecked authority, narrowed his eyes. "You see that?" he muttered to Drury, his voice laced with suspicion. Drury, younger but eager to mirror his partner's posture, leaned forward. "Yeah. Doesn't look like he's from around here." No laws were being broken. Noah wasn't disturbing anyone. He wasn't loitering near private property. He was just sitting. But that didn't matter. The two officers pulled their cruiser sharply to the side, gravel crunching under the tires. Doors swung open with force. They didn't approach Noah with questions. They came with judgment. "Hey," Maddox barked, his voice cracking like a whip. "What are you doing here?" Noah turned his head slowly. Calm, collected. "Sitting," he said. His voice was deep and even, as if he'd been through this before. Maddox's jaw tensed. "This is private property." "No sign saying that," Noah replied. His gaze never left the river. Drury moved to flank Noah's other side, hands resting on his belt, one hovering too close to his holster. "You need to leave now." Noah stood, slow and deliberate. His hands remained visible at his sides. "I'm not causing trouble," he said, tone still calm. "Just getting some air." Maddox stepped closer. "You've been warned." And then it shifted, too fast. Maddox grabbed Noah's arm, twisting it behind his back. "You're resisting," Drury shouted. "I'm not," Noah replied, firm but controlled. "I'm standing here." Another hand, another shove. In a blur, they dragged him toward the riverbank. Noah's boots skidded against the dirt as they pushed him closer to the edge. "Stop," he shouted, his voice now sharp with warning. "You don't want to do this." But they did. Maddox shoved him hard. The river opened beneath him. The cold hit like a punch. Water swallowed him whole. The current pulled, but Noah didn't panic. His mind kicked in, a training honed by years of elite military service. Because Noah Carter wasn't just any man. He was a Navy SEAL trained to survive the impossible. His hands were cuffed, but not useless. Below the surface, silence. He didn't fight the current right away. He let it take him just far enough. Then, with a kick of his legs and a twist of his body, he maneuvered. The cuffs bit into his wrists, but he angled his shoulders to reduce drag and used the current to steer toward the opposite bank. From above, the officers stood watching. Maddox lit a cigarette. Drury looked away. "That's that," Maddox muttered. "Let's go." They never saw Noah resurface. Yards downstream, lungs burning, he emerged just long enough to breathe. He didn't cry for help. He disappeared into the woods. Hours passed. Then a day. Then two. The department issued a half-hearted report. Man drowned while resisting arrest. There was no investigation, no press conference, just silence. The town returned to normal, or pretended to. But for the witnesses by the river, those who had recorded snippets of the encounter on shaking cell phones, the truth burned behind their eyes. Noah had vanished, and to the police, that meant victory. But they had made a critical mistake. They didn't kill a stranger. They tried to drown a soldier. In a cabin deep in a forest, Noah worked in darkness. His injuries were minor, bruises, a gash above his eyebrow, but the fire in his chest was real. He watched the shaky footage again and again. In it, his head disappeared beneath the water, handcuffed. The timestamp ticked on. The video ended in screams. He called Jared Cole, an old SEAL brother turned cybersecurity analyst. "I'm alive," Noah said. Jared didn't need context. Noah gave coordinates. Within hours, Jared had delivered backup power, food, and most importantly, data, body cam footage, dispatch logs, radio recordings. It was all there. Cropped timelines, muted audio, evidence that Noah had been attacked without provocation. They've been doing this for years, Jared said grimly. You're not the first. They spent nights connecting dots, dozens of files. Patterns emerged, mostly black men. Mostly vague claims of resisting. Some disappeared. Some died. All covered up. Noah's rage turned to purpose. They compiled the dossier, not just on Maddox and Drury, but their precinct, their chief, the mayor who backed them, the prosecutor who declined to charge in every single use of force complaint. We go public, Jared said, but smart. If we do it wrong, they'll bury the story. Noah nodded. Then we don't give them that chance. He reached out to a local reporter, Sienna Marsh. She had a reputation for courage and a tendency to ruffle feathers. He left a package at her door, photos, video, statements. A burner phone rang 2 hours later. Who are you? Sienna asked. The man they tried to drown, Noah answered. That night, the town exploded. Sienna published her expose. The video went viral. Justice for Noah trended by morning. Protests filled the streets. Willow Ridge was no longer quiet. Maddox and Drury were suspended, then arrested. The chief issued a statement filled with platitudes, but no one bought it. Not after the files leaked. Not after whistleblowers stepped forward. But the corruption ran deeper. Noah wasn't finished. He uncovered wire transfers, money funneled to city officials from a private prison contractor, incentives for arrest numbers, pressure to profile, even training materials that encouraged aggression over de-escalation. At the center of it all, Victor Langston, former military, now head of a security consulting firm with contracts in 5 states. Noah remembered him from years ago. Charismatic, calculated, dangerous. He's the architect, Jared said. Then we dismantle the blueprint, Noah replied. They staged it for maximum impact. Noah attended a national law enforcement conference in D.C. Langston was the keynote speaker. Noah waited until the speech ended, then stepped on stage. The crowd gasped. I was declared dead 3 weeks ago, Noah said into the mic. But I'm standing here because I survived, and because I refuse to let others be buried under lies. He dropped the files on the podium, live-streamed, unedited, irrefutable. Federal agents arrested Langston on the spot. Months passed. Then, a year. Maddox and Drury were convicted. The chief was removed. Investigations spread across the state. Dozens of officers were suspended, indicted, or resigned. A statue now stands at the riverbank where Noah nearly died. It shows a man breaking the surface of water, fists unclenched, eyes open. The plaque reads, "Justice doesn't drown." Noah Carter was never seen again. Some say he left the country. Others say he works in the shadows, rooting out corruption wherever it hides. But in Willow Ridge, his story is told with reverence, not because he lived, but because he refused to stay silent.